Patrick Lock.
Hello, Colin.
Now then, you've been supporting Oxford City home and away for many a year now. Saturday, that meant a pretty long trip up to Scunthorpe. Was it worth it?
It was in the end, yeah. I mean, given results in recent weeks, we kind of on the road not expecting much, and I think, I mean, to be honest, if you'd offered me a point before leaving, I'd have definitely taken that. And I think even if you'd offered me an hour of defeat, I probably would have taken that as well, considering how we were going. But yeah, absolutely worth it. Yeah, definitely.
And what made the difference? I mean, Ross Jenkins back clearly. He knows the core players that got promotion up to the National League. So he knows what they're capable of. But the young lad Drew came on, scored in his debut. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think he came on for a few minutes last weekend, but yeah, I think what really made the difference on Saturday is our defensive shape was so much more, so much stronger, I think, and obviously they'd done a bit of work on it during the week, and Ross had actually completely changed the back line, I think, because he brought in Jalen Jones and Chi Ezenolum into the back three, and yeah, I thought considering that we've had defensive frailties in recent weeks, so three of them played really well together, and obviously tweaked a few things to try and make the most of their frailties. So yeah, it's a good performance, and I think it was a deserved point in the end. And yeah, Aaron Drew, second appearance back, and yeah, left unmarked on the back post in the 94th minute, and yeah, good day
Brilliant.
out.
Yeah, and I think I have to say that Scunthorpe are a former league side, Patrick, and so you had a good crowd there.
Yeah, it's about 4,500 now, I think, and yeah, Scunthorpe reached the heights of the championship just over a decade ago, so not really that long ago, and so it's been a hell of a fall for them, really. And yeah, I mean, obviously, a club that size you'd like to see climb the pyramid again, but obviously, from a biased point of view, not yesterday, but yes.
All right, Patrick. Well, I suppose the thing about the experience that the core players, the likes of Josh Ashby and Reece Fleet and Zach McEachran had in the National League was that they did go to some big grounds. They did experience some big crowds, so they wouldn't have been phased by Scunthorpe, would they?
No, I think that's a big thing. Like, obviously, when you look at National League North this year, there's way more clubs now that are at grounds the same size as City's grounds, and teams that have got attendances that are fairly similar to what City used to get. So, for a few teams in the division, I imagine going to Scunthorpe will be very daunting, and playing in front of a big crowd and everything. But like you say, City probably went to about 10, 11 grounds like that last year where the attendances were that high. So actually, it probably didn't phase a lot of the players. And yeah, certainly on the performance, I think City probably shaded the majority of the game actually. So yeah, definitely weren't and didn't let the crowd get on their back really.
Okay, Patrick, take us through the rest of the week's local results, the tables, and of course the local fixtures. What local football fans have got to look forward to this coming weekend?
Yeah, so it's a mixture of league and cup games this weekend. Banbury United's FA Trophy campaign ended at the first stage actually on the road to Plymouth Parkway. Janai Gordon and Connor Ferguson both scored for the Puritans, but still unable to prevent defeat. And we got Simon Holyhead, the manager, caught up with the Puritans radio after the full-time whistle.
I think we started really well. The first 10 minutes were quite bright, and they scored early on. A little bit slow to react, I think, if we're honest. But then a super strike from Jenny. Let's just recognise the quality. That was a top quality strike. Then we had a bit of momentum in the game, and then second goal for them. I won't say too much, but it's something we've talked about before, and those here could see, I think, what happened. I thought we started the second half a lot better. We were slightly higher at the pitch, which is what we talked about. And then that third goal would, I think, in most situations, really kick you in the stomach. I actually felt we reacted in the right way. We were trying to be logical with our changes, because it's either change the person or change the system. But it's really important that doesn't disrupt everything. And yeah, as you say, with 15 minutes to go, but I felt like we were the team who was going to score the next goal after we pulled it back. But that's football, and we have to accept the outcome. And one thing I am sure is we're going to learn from the outcome.
Ham United's FA Cup run ended as well by the same scoreline, actually, on the road to Uxbridge. They did take the lead, actually, through Mark Riddick in the first half, but did get turned around to 2-1 deficit. Harry Alexander did bring him back level again, but a last-gasp penalty from Uxbridge saw Tame beaten on the road there, so they exit the trophy as well. So looking at the league fixtures, and in the Southern League Division 1 South, Didcot Town kept up their fine home form, actually, with a win against Bemerton Heath Harlequins. They played for 10 men for 80 minutes, actually, an early red card for Didcot with a high boot, actually, I saw earlier, which looked a little bit harsh in my opinion, but they didn't let that daunt them, and they actually went and won late on. They went behind, actually, early in the second half, but a Josh Davis penalty and a spectacular goal from Patrick Osborne saw them turn it around, and here's what Jamie Hooper said to their media team at full time.
You know, I think he took his time on the decision, because he waited for the fella to get treatment, and did he go over to the lino and have a chat with him, and then he just balled out the red. And I think no one was expecting that, even their players, I don't think. I know they're around him, I don't think they were really wanting to get him sent off. I just think it was a yellow and that. But that, you know, that happens, that's life, it happens, you deal with it. But he was good second half. Only because he gave us more. He gave us more second half than he did them.
Yeah, so, we could have got another red in the second.
Well, Owen was probably the worst tackle in the game. Yeah. But, you know, the heart and the drive and everything they give today was us to a T. You know, that is us. That is, when our backs are against the wall, when things go against us, we seem to get another gear, find another gear, and we just know how to do it with 10. Maybe I should start with 10 on Saturday.
In the Southern League Division 1 Central, there's only one game, and actually North Leeds staged a stunning late comeback to win their first game of the season, and they were 2-0 down with 10 minutes to play, and actually going up to win against Leverstock Green. Calvin Nagore, Kyle Chester and Harley Vozza scored 3 goals in 5-minute spell, actually, to secure that fine win. As I said, the first win of the season, and obviously it's been a tough time for North Leeds, so definitely I'm sure that was enjoyed around the ground after that. Looking at step 5 and 6, actually, and then, I mean, got to mention the thrilling match in Hellenic Division 1 on Friday night in front of over 1,500 people, as Abingdon United left it late to beat Wantage Town in what was a match for Jack Badger at North Court in Abingdon. Obviously, sad news about Jack Badger the other week, and it's great to see so many people getting behind that game, and obviously 1,500 people there with all the proceeds going to Jack's family was brilliant to see. I mean, Abingdon trailed going into the final 10 minutes of that game, and it was an ending fitting of the match, really. And skipper John Mills levelled the scores with 8 minutes to play, and he flicked on a header from a corner. And then literally one of the last kicks of the game, a header from Joe Green won it for Abingdon, send North Court into raptures there. So a fantastic occasion there, and brilliant to see a game worthy of the situation as well. Elsewhere in steps 5 and 6, Milton United won. They beat Edgware and Kingsbury 2-1 thanks to late goals from Tyron Lee and Mark Flanagan. Wallingford and Crowmarsh were beaten 3-1 away at Egham Town in the Combined Counties League, where Ardley United didn't play. And elsewhere in Hellenic Division 1, there were big wins for Clanfield and Killington Reserves, the former beating Ludlow Town 5-1, while the latter beat Woodstock Town Ace 3-0. But the other game in Hellenic Division 1 saw Carterton beaten 5-2 at home to Wellington. So a look at the league tables, and Oxford United's points saw them climb to 10th, I think, was it, in the championship? I think they were 11th last week, and now I come to say that, I can't remember, but
10th or 11th, they're top, roughly in the top half of the
yes, yeah. Oxford City obviously got a point at Scunthorpe as well, but didn't climb the table. so still sitting 23rd, but obviously signs of improvement there. Banbury United remain 11th in the Southern League Premier Central because there wasn't any games played in that league, so that wasn't going to change that league table. In Division 1 Central, Tame United 8th, North climbed to 17th after their win, and Kidlington 20th in that division after a tough start to the league season. In Division 1 South, Didcot 7th and sitting in a strong position after a good start to the season again. Next weekend, and I nearly said Oxfordshire United were at home to West Brom, but Colin saved me before we started recording. It's the international break, of course, isn't it? So Oxfordshire United do not have a fixture. And again, this is one way you realise that we've recorded early in the week, because Oxford City at this stage may or may not have a fixture on Saturday, as Alfreton are due to be playing City in a league game. But on Tuesday night, Alfreton are playing Biggleswade in an FA Cup match. And if Alfreton progress in that, they'll be playing an FA Cup tie on Saturday. So I'm sure that Kieren will update you in the studio as to whether City do or do not have a fixture this Saturday. Banbury United, they do have a game. They host Bromsgrove Sporting in the Southern League Premier Central. In the Southern League Division 1 Central, Kidlington host Welwyn Garden City, Tame head to Rail Bedford, and Northlea's game against Biggleswade is off because they are due to play the other Biggleswade side, actually, who have got a trip to York City in the FA Cup, so a big game for them. And then finally, Southern League Division 1 South, Didcot at home again. They play Yate Town. Obviously, they'll be looking to carry on their good home form. So that is it, and back to you, Colin.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Patrick. And just to say, it is the international break, and aren't you on an international jaunt this week as well?
Yes, and I mean that's kind of why we're recording this earlier, even earlier than normal, isn't it, Colin? Yeah, I'm away Thursday, Friday to the tip of Gibraltar, yeah, to potentially watch. Well, I will have watched by this point of while you're watching this actually live in the studio on Thursday night, I'll be watching Gibraltar San Marino. So there you go.
So there you go. So all right, we look forward to having you back and finding out the experience of that. You do like away trips, don't you, Patrick?
Oh yeah. I do enjoy going to random countries, watching random football games. But yes.
Okay, we'll do have a safe journey, Patrick, and we'll catch up with you again next week for much more Lock, Line and Ryde. Thanks a lot.